Alright YouTube, welcome to the channel. So we have a busy day that was going on with the car. So the first thing that got done is I had my windshield replaced because it had a big crack all the way, almost the entire length or the width of the actual windshield. And that took about an hour and a half through Safelite. And I used my USA insurance, so I only had to pay a small deductible. So since it got done so quickly and my tires came in today, so we're gonna have I have a place called On-Site Tires that comes to your house and puts tires on your car. So yeah, they done Joe's car at one of the shows. I can't remember if it was Cars and Cantina or Fueled Up Meat, but they came out here, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna replace all 4 tires on the orange Vet with the new tires. They're gonna take the front tires that were on orange because they're still pretty good, put them on my wife's front tires here, because hers are kind of like pretty old and they're almost gone. So what we have, and I was helping them out as well, so I jacked the cars on my own, put the took the wheels off my own just to make this process go by a lot faster and smoother because it's raining and people got other things to do. So my new tires that I have here, everyone's is going with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's or Super Sports or Cup 2s, but I decided after doing some reviews to go with the Firehawk Indy 500s, 275s in the front and 325s in the rear. These came in at about like $9.50 with shipping and everything and taxes included for the entire set. And it came from TireRack.com. So I'm gonna go ahead and reel these out into the garage and go have the guy all set up and ready to go. Alright everyone, we got the tires on. I know I didn't show a lot of process, but who hasn't gotten their tires redone? But right now, so yeah, I got the Firehawks on here, Indy 500. They're rated almost as good as the 4S's. They're just right at that level, but they cost about $100 and something cheaper. So I got 275s in the front. I'm definitely going to feel the difference of the 255s that I put over on that car, and I got 325s in the rear. One of the sensors on the passenger side front apparently just stopped working, and so they're going to end up having to find me another sensor. So I'm going to get, of course, another warning light on my dash until I get that sensor redone. On this one, everything went pretty good. After me looking at these front tires, the Pirellis and Cinturato, Strata, whatever. Pirellis. They probably don't have much life on them, so I think they might last this year. They're pretty sure they'll last this year, but next year, they're new tires and rears, fronts and backs, so front and rears for this car will be going on. I'm still having issues with keeping these center caps on. They're so cheap. Cheap little plastic tabs. So right now they got RTV on both of them to help them stay in there. And that's the way they were on there before, with RTV holding them in there because it just kept falling off the stupid cheap tabs. LG's made some durable center caps made out of metal. You just hit them with a hammer, hit them in. But enough of me rambling on. Got the tires on here pretty great. The next project will be these front calipers that I got from Wilwood. I'll be showing them off later because they're deep down in the box. But 6 piston calipers going into the front. Going to be doing in the next few days to replace the stock ones. Side note is, I've been trying to find if I can move stock 4 piston brake calipers to the rear. I know you can do it. People have done it. There's got to be like some sort of bracket to modify it, but I can't find any answers on the forum, so I'm going to ask. If I ask and I can't get any good answers, then I'm going to be buying rear Wilwood 4 piston calipers for the rear. But as of right now, we're just going to be doing the 6 pistons in the front. We're going to be doing them the next couple days. Alright, good evening YouTube, and welcome to the channel. So today we got a big project. Well, I wouldn't say big. We got a little project for the car. I'm hoping to be able to do this overnight. And that's going to be changing out the front calipers on the car. So what I have here are some 6 piston calipers I got from Wilwood. See, right here are the stainless steel brake lines. I put them to the back. I think this is mounting hardware. Let's just get to what you really want to see. You actually want to see what these calipers look like These are 6-piston calipers, and let me get a different box. That one's still in the plastic, of course. Okay, yeah, so here it is. 6-piston caliper from Wilwood. The whole kit, including the flex line kits, and everything that comes with the caliper kit. So the caliper kit comes with these calipers, the mounting hardware, their brake pads, which are like XB20, and then additionally you had to get the line hose over there. All that together cost about I want to say $930, and that included whatever my military discount was. So I got this from some random site that doesn't do military discounts because they already did it very low. I originally was gonna get it from Jegs, but their military discount wasn't as low as what I was gonna get them from here. Without me rambling on, so let's go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jack up the car. First I'm gonna break the wheels loose, to break the torque on the wheel loose. Then I'm gonna jack up the car, get the wheels off, and then we'll start following the instructions. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so we got the car jacked up, both wheels are off. Oh crap, I just noticed. Looks like I lost my brake duct cooler that was on there. So yeah, I gotta put another one on there. But yeah, let's go ahead and start get going, taking this caliper and the caliper bracket off. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just take the whole bracket with the caliper off at the same time. So right now I'm tackling the caliper bolts with a breaker bar. I got one up here near the top, and there's one right down there below this. There's only two holding it on, so I'm gonna break them. I already got this one loosened up. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the next one. Okay, as you can see, I got the rotor off. It came off pretty easy because the caliper was already undone. So now I just gotta take the kung fu grip off the caliper from the rotor, from the caliper from the rotor, and then get to swapping them out. So yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'm working on is the brake line. As you can see, it's right here, because I want to make sure I can do that before I remove the caliper completely and have to bleed air out the system. If I can't install the new stainless steel brake lines, I'm gonna put everything back and get the right tools so I can still drive the car. So right now I've loosened up this one bolt that goes through the frame, and then I'll be able to pull the the brake line out maybe a little bit more, then I can see what the bracket actually looks like and see what I need to do. So just pulled it out. So I'm gonna do a quick analysis with both my hands, and then tell you guys what I find out. Okay, as you can see, I got it disconnected. So the way I did it is I put the bracket back on the frame. I'm sorry about the lighting. Put the bracket back on the frame so I can use it as leverage, as I got a small wrench in there to take off that back nut of the hose. So the next step is, right here, as you can see, the caliper and the caliper bracket are all disconnected with this line. I think I need to take this. Yeah, I just need to disconnect this so I can put it back on the frame. And then I'm going to attach the stainless steel lines, which actually shouldn't be that hard. So let's go and do that. Okay, so yeah, I know the lighting's bad, but since I already got, here, I'll go ahead and show it. Since I got the brake line hooked up, stainless steel, as you can see right there, went on pretty easy. I'm actually dripping brake fluid everywhere. But, yeah, so since I already got that off with not an issue, and I already got that put back on, and I already got that in a rotor. Basically what I'm saying is, got the stainless steel line hooked up, but since the rotor was already off, I'm gonna go ahead and use my little rehoning tool that I used before on the back, and I'm just gonna scuff up the surface on the front and the back of the rotors. So let me do that real quick. Alright, got the rotor all brushed up. If you can see, a little bit of the swirl marks. I think I missed some spots right there on the edge, but it'll be alright. So yeah, the next step is go in and hook the caliper up. So let me go ahead and get them out and get busy. Okay, my next step is, I got the caliper here. I'm gonna go ahead and attach the nipple for the brake line right here. So it goes the big side goes in here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some thread sealing on there just to be sure, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, so we got the nipple on there. I didn't put it on all the way because not only did I not want to over tighten it, but I want to make sure I got the angle right for the brake line when I actually hook it up. So the next thing is I got the bracket. I put the rotor back on, but I got the bracket here, and I got all these washers and 2 nuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the instructions, which are right here. They shouldn't set me wrong. I had to hook all this up. So yeah, I'm just going to follow that procedure and go ahead and put it on. Okay, so right now I got the bracket on. Also with a couple of the spacers as per the instructions. So just going to keep moving along. Okay, as I move forward with about to put the caliper on, I'm going to go ahead and put the brake pads on. So what you have to do is they're really simple. There's 2 little clips. As you can see right there, there they are. They're holding these pins in that slide back and forth so you can put the pads in. So I think the way they go, because I never had a Z06 or 6-piston calipers, you just slide these out like this, and you take the pads and just slide them in there and push the pins through. That's just what it looks like. So let me go and put the camera ground and take care of it. Okay, pads in there. It was very simple. Yeah, put the clips in there, and of course they're going to keep moving around because they're not attaching anything, but yeah, pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper on here, and then what you're supposed to do is once you put the caliper on there is just start adjusting with shims to make sure it covers the brake rotor completely. So let me go and get that going. Okay, so you see where I got both calipers out? Didn't read the instructions. So there's a specific caliper for each side. As you can see on this box, this one's for the left hand side. At least that's what I think LH stands for. And the reason why I believe that is because this caliper is all set up and it won't fit over. As you can see, the brake pad is just let me see if I can get some more light. It's just not enough room, and it's hitting right there. So what I'm about to do next is I'm about to set this caliper up with the nipple here on the side, and also put the brake pads in there. So yeah, let me go knock that out real quick. Okay, so we got the caliper on there, but as you can see, it's not going far enough on there, and I think it's because I don't have Z51 rotor sizes. I have stock ones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the spacer out, which is right here, and it should allow it to come in a little bit closer. So let's play around with it and see what we get. Okay, we got the caliper on, but we ran into some big problems. First, let's start small. These nuts on the back of these studs are like the multiple point. They're not normal. As you can see, they're not normal nuts. So I don't have any deep well like that. As you can see, all these sockets, I have regular ones like that, so I can only get so far. I was lucky enough that I'm able to get these wrenches on there to turn it, but it's not fun at all. And I had no deep wells, so I tried to find in my bolt bin. Maybe I could have tried harder to find, because I looked at my nuts here and none of them would fit over that. But that's a small problem, and I was able to solve it. It's on there pretty damn tight. So I don't know if I said it earlier, but I found out that these are stock dimension rotors, which are 12 point, I don't know, 9.8 or 12.68 inches. It's something like that, but these are stock dimension rotors. I thought they were Z51 rotors. They are not. So one telltale way I found that out is you look at the brake pad here, okay? See, this is the rotor, and this is how much room on the brake pad is not on the actual rotor, which actually kind of makes me upset. So what I'm gonna have to do is well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the job putting these calipers on so I could drive the car, and I'm gonna order Z51 rotors that are gonna be slightly bigger and it'll get the full pad effect. Now you're gonna be like, oh well, you drove it around, now the pad's gonna wear down. So yeah, I'm just gonna buy a new set of pads. But I could tell that these pads, they barely fit over the dimensions of this rotor. So as soon as I step on a brake, they're gonna be right there grabbing. But yeah, so the next biggest thing that's on my mind and that I'm worried about is when I put the LG wheels on there, will they fit with these thick rotors on here and I don't need a spacer? So that's my next thing. So excuse me. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna grab the wheel and I'm gonna slide it on here and see what I'm working with. And if that works well, I'm probably not gonna record. If that works well, I'm gonna be going ahead and attach the brake line and then putting a wheel on there. And that's kind of it for this rotor. So let's see how we're going. Alright everyone, so originally we ran into some issues. I put the wheel on there like I said, and it didn't clear, and I ended up scuffing up the caliper a little bit. And I was gonna put these washers on here and make it a spacer, but I was like, that's just a bad idea and a plan, because what I would do is if it worked right now, I would leave them on there until something bad happened. So there is a 24-hour AutoZone near where I live, and well, about 20-minute drive. So I went there and I just went shopping. So what I did when I went shopping is I got spacers. I got some spacers right here. Should be just enough to clear the amount of room that I need for the caliper. I also went out and got Z51 rotors. So it was an expensive trip, but you know, there's a saying, buy once, cry once. So I'm gonna have to remove the two nuts back here on the caliper, take the caliper off, put a different rotor on, and then we'll get moving forward. So let's go and get going. Okay, we got the new rotor on there. It's AC Delco, came straight from AutoZone, drilled as you can tell. The caliper goes on there nice and flush. As you can see, it's not the same as before. Hopefully you can see it with this light. But yeah, it's definitely a lot better, much better improvement. Wish I had better light like directly on there. But yeah, it's definitely on there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put a spacer on there and try to put the wheel on. Okay, right now I got the wheel on there with just you know, impact wrench, just kind of like just tightened down, but nowhere near with no torque specs. And the caliper is like, oh, it's like barely clearing. I don't know if you can really see it. The gap is so small. And I think it's gonna work that way. I prefer to have a bigger spacer. I thought about putting two spacers on top of each other, but I didn't have enough thread to do anything with. I need at least ½ inch is what the instructions said. So I'm gonna go over, do the other side. I know it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I still gotta go to work tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Should be relatively smooth since I know what I gotta do. And then I gotta bleed the brakes. So yeah, let's get going. Alright, as you can see, it is daylight, which means we had a whole bunch of problems. So I went on till 5 o'clock in the morning working on this car. And to be honest with you, I'm not even gonna hold back on this. I actually damaged the caliper. So what I did is I didn't know how they were set up, where it was like I thought it was like the traditional one. But apparently it's like this little nipple. You're supposed to turn the black part to bleed it and not the gold. So when I was tightening the gold or loosening it and I was trying to tighten it back, I over tightened it and I basically snapped it off and it got stuck inside. So I took it up to this place. This is the piece that was inside. Took up this place where I had to go to work and just had him you know, tap it out and put an original OEM, like a normal style one in that I pulled off the other caliper. So that cost about $50, and me not having my car for a day, and then also it cost probably all the brake fluid that was in the system to come out. So right now I'm gonna wipe it all up, and I'm gonna get right back to putting this car back together. So what I need to do, oops, I almost fell. What I need to do is throw the caliper on real quick, which is the 2 bolts, and then bleed the system. That's it. So let's go and do that. Okay, so yeah, we got both calipers and new rotors on with the spacer on both sides. Next step is to actually bleed the brakes and then break in the pads. So yeah, that's the next step, and we'll see how it goes after. Okay, YouTube, no lighting's bad, but we have both of the brakes actually bled. What next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the car with the actual vacuum and a brake booster working, and step on the brakes there before I put the wheels on, and then after I put the wheels on, then we'll try to bed in the brakes to the rotors. So yeah, that's next. Alright everyone, we got the brakes bedded in and the rotors as well. Everything went fine. Checked the fluid halfway through and it was still good. Did great on the turns, stopped solid, no fade. So yeah, all complete here. So the next thing is I'm gonna have to, after I do the side skirts, which I'm picking up this weekend, I'm gonna do rear cap Wilwood calipers, unless I can find someone to help me put 4-piston on the rear. And that's pretty much, that's actually pretty much it for the exterior. Well, I gotta do the wheels. Those things are hideous. But anyway, enough of that rambling on. Hope you guys liked what you saw here and saw my trials and tribulations. If you haven't been to the channel before, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.